That's how you start. Hello, welcome.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Pod. All right, so welcome back, everybody. That was about as good of an intro as we're gonna get. We are rolling with that.
Remember that? Okay.
Yeah, we're staying with that. That is good. So
I love it. I love it. All right. Welcome back to the Two-Way Hockey Podcast. We got two guys again, but whatever. Here we go. We're gonna start things off.
Our game, we'll say we're the two that were selected for the All-Star. So.
Yeah, I'm honored that I got the nod again.
Thanks. I got the fan vote in, so I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I was the league vote. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna start off with our stars of the week, just like every week. But we're only gonna do two because we don't really have everyone else's. Like I have Nick's, but we figured we'll just like save that for the Instagram post.
Yeah,
and if you want to see it, go check out our Instagram.
It's every week. Go check it out.
Give us a follow.
Give a little blurb.
Yeah, exactly. So. Exactly. Do you want me to start or you want to start?
Up to you, man.
I'll start because why not? Yeah. I picked the second best player in the NHL, Connor McDavid.
I didn't know I was in the NHL.
No.
Okay, well then he's the best.
William Nylander, obviously.
Right. Fair.
Austin Matthews. You know what? Connor McDavid might be pushed down to fourth, behind Matthews number one, obviously, Nylander number two, and Nate McKinnon number three.
You mean Matthew isn't like Matthew Tkachuk?
No, that guy. No, we don't.
Okay, so
anyways, second best player in the NHL played 3 games that week. This was last week, by the way. 3 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, and a pair of ankles because he absolutely made Riley look like a turnstile.
That was like, that moment. That was the moment where it was like, yeah, you're there and I'm here for a very good reason because like, I'm going right. No, I'm going left.
Yeah, like I don't know what Riley's looking at because like McDavid's turned like looking like there's someone over there,
and
there's no one. There's no one even in sight.
No, and also like I thought I tried to make the point originally. I was like, oh well, Riley's been on for a while, but no, Barry was on or Cece, sorry, he went to the bench. Riley just literally stepped on the ice and probably wished that he didn't.
And yeah, I probably you know what if that's Cody Cece doing that, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Riley, it's like, oh, buddy, you got to make that play.
That's our captain.
Yep, our Captain Morgan, who we'll talk about in a bit because he's yeah. But anyways, McDavid had a huge week. Had that goal. Had another one against. I think Calgary was in this week too, and where he just blew by the whole team like they didn't exist.
Doesn't matter. Yeah,
it looked like he was in fast forward.
He looks so fast. He's always so fast, man. I've seen him skate. I've seen him skate live, and like he was just practicing. Like, oh my goodness, he couldn't. The people with him couldn't even keep up with his pass. Like he would fire a pass off, and nobody could fire it back in time of his stride. Like that was it. And it's just it's so amazing to see.
I saw him in like a charity game back when he was a kid. And like he was still, I want to say like 17 or 18, and he was just blowing by guys there.
Man, yeah,
like,
there's
legends.
Yeah, even the guys. So we have like this older Italian man we work with. He doesn't know anything about hockey. He's like at the glass doing the windows, sees McDavid practicing, and goes, "Who's this?" I was like, "Dude," you're like the best hockey player on the planet. He goes, "I can tell." That's what he said. He just goes, "I can tell," and he just from watching him, a guy that knows nothing about hockey just peeks in and goes, "Yeah, no, that's
the guy's he's a freak. He's a freak."
Yeah. And like to be able to go like I get it in basketball. And football because you plant and you're able to just explode but like to do it on skates to go, hi, I'm going right. Okay, no, everything is now left.
Yep. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go at the net.
Cuts so hard and does it with so much speed.
It was honestly like I like that better than any of the lacrosse goals we see. Like I love those lacrosse goals. Don't get me wrong. Like I loved the Svechnikov. I said it was my goal.
This was just pure talent.
This is just a hockey play. Like, that's what it is. It's just such a beautiful hockey play that you'll never really see. That's why I was like.
There's no other player in the NHL that could do that. Maybe McKinnon has close to the speed, but like
not to that, like to get everything as sound as he did for that play. He like
did it so well,
and he made one of the best defenders look like they should be in your top.
Yeah, like Morgan Riley's not something to shake a stick at. Like that guy can. He's not a great defensively, but I
still trust him.
The guy can play.
Like, he can skate. He can skate, and he made it look like he couldn't even like. He needed the little push.
He looked like one of us out there.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, that's my star of the week.
Yeah, mine's
say it, but there it is.
I mean, you had to though. It needed to be said.
It was a given. The guy was so good. Whatever.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So going from scoring goals to just denying goals.
Everything.
Like, denies more than the little goalie net that you put up when you don't actually have a goalie. You know.
Oh, those things are good though.
But not as good as Andre Vesnilevsky, who should just honestly get his name changed to that.
His change name.
Yeah,
get change named.
Change name, change the name. Andre Vasilevsky was unreal. He won all 3 of the starts. He had a below 1 goals against average. Was it 6-7? Like absurd. His save percentage was 972. And not to mention 2 of those shutouts back to back.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
This man is on fire again. Tampa also won 10 of those games in a row, which I know we'll probably talk to. And like you lose to New Jersey, whatever. That's one of those teams.
I love it.
But man, balance in sports has been restored. You know, you got your Boston at the top, you got your Tampa there, and then you got your lead. Like it's just. Remember at the beginning of the year, we're like, "Oh my God, what are you doing, Buffalo? Like, what is happening? Is this?"
Montreal was up there. Florida was up there.
Well, Florida's still there. Like, Florida's actually really where I expected.
Yeah,
them
they could be a playoff team. They should
absolutely. Be. I think they're only within like 4 points of the Leafs. So
yeah, but
that's,
you know what? No. I'm excited for the collision course we have with Boston again. So
yeah, but no, man, Vasilevsky, I think he's back. I think that team is back, but he is a very I find that there's moments where he'll get streaky, but when he finds his hot streak, he sits with it and go. Yeah. It is very hard to break him out of that. It's almost like an injury or something needs to happen to get him out of that zone again because he'll just shut it down. And Tampa has the power and like the talent to produce in front of him. So as much as it's also like he's a great goalie, like they also make it pretty easy for him. I think he only had 21 shots on one of those shutouts. Like, okay. Dude, 21 shots? Yeah, I know. But honestly, that's even more tough for a goalie because a lot of goalies would rather be in rhythm, right? A lot of goalies are like, dude, give me 30 to 40 shots because then I'm in rhythm. I'm still getting but then if you space it out, like, oh, you got 4 this period, we'll give you like 10 there, right? You're up to 14.
It's funny because sometimes that team just like shut down. They don't allow anything. And then they go and play a team like the Kings and they give up 39 shots or whatever it was the other day. Like, you don't know what that team is most of the nights, but it's almost
like they try. They're just like, we'll be offensive minded. That's it.
As long as Vesnilevsky's playing like Vesnilevsky, then it really doesn't matter how that team plays in front of him.
No, like if you have that goalie back there, it's almost like the Leafs, right? Like how they sometimes leave Andy to just do Andy stuff, and that's like
and it's
high risk, high reward, as we saw as we'll get talking right now, as we saw in that Florida game. That Florida game was really tough, but that was almost expected, and that's going to be expected with this Leafs. Yeah, with this Leafs system.
Which is fine.
Yeah, like I love this quote. It is so hard to play defense when the puck's in their end.
Yeah.
So and that do it. Do that then.
I don't hate that.
No, man. Like,
I don't hate that one bit.
8-4 every game. I love Florida. I think Florida's a well-coached team. I think Florida's a very they are a team through and through in the sense that if you want to play in Florida, you had to say I'm going there. Jonathan Huberdeau drafted, signed. Alexander Barkov drafted, signed there. Dadonov pulled over from the K. They grabbed Aaron Ekblad even, right? First overall. And it's dude, he could have been a bust, but they still just you know what? No, stay here,
ran with him. Yeah.
Keith Yandel even, right? I mean, Keith Yandel's unreal there. Does anyone care? Nope.
No.
Who gives a shit about Keith Yandel?
Keith Yandel's one of the best let's go top 5 D-men in the league, and you never hear about him.
Never hear about him.
When he does something good and he ends up in award races and stuff, people are like, why is Keith Yandel there? It's Keith Yandel is really good.
Yeah, it's he's played 200 games in a row, or it's
it's 7 something.
Yeah, but he does. But that's what I mean though. He's more than the Iron Man guy. He is an actual sound defensive unit, and
he's one of the highest scoring defensemen of the last 5 years or something like that.
And Joel Quenneville coming in there to coach them, to keep them that's great.
Joel Quenneville is one of the best coaches.
I loved him. I honestly, as a fan, broke my heart. Two things to that team: the Panarin and the Quenneville. Those will forever sit with me as sour taste in my mouth because I love.
But Brandon Saad is so good.
Yeah, you're right. He's fucking great. No, he's not.
Aren't they both Hart Trophy candidates this year? Him and Saad?
No. Saad should
one of them is,
and then that'll just be his gameplay, so we just know because it's just sad. It's just really not that good. But yeah.
Bad deal. Oh well.
I mean, money deal, whatever. Panarin had to get paid. We knew it, but and he's showing it. He shows why. But but the Leafs, that was an 8-4 loss, but they've had some good victories also.
We can move on to the Leafs because why not? That in that 8-4 loss, they also lost Morgan Rielly to a broken foot. This is like kind of a thing going around the league because like Muzzin broke his foot, Kyle Palmieri broke his foot, then Rielly broke his foot. I think there's a couple others too, but
because the shots are getting harder. Yeah, skates are trying to get lighter.
They're not getting any better.
Everything is trying to get lighter so that the game can get faster, and that's the issue. Is that like these sticks, man, when they whip harder, so I think I can take a pretty okay slap shot. Drew Doughty's gonna walk in there and just blow me out of the water.
Yeah.
So can you imagine? Like I felt some stingers in my day, and I'm like, man,
dude,
can you imagine these guys like. The guys that just take a hit and keep skating,
we're getting hit with like 60 miles an hour tops, and like these guys are getting hit with like 95, 100 sometimes. Like, ouch!
Like I know why people just run the other way when Chara goes at it. Like there's a reason. No,
this is my favorite. My favorite thing with Leafs Twitter is that people bitch all the time about how their forwards don't block shots. Man, why would you want your forwards blocking shots like that?
And also though, like. I don't know. Maybe you asked the goalie. Wouldn't the goalie want to see it?
Yeah, get the fuck out of my way. Let me make the save.
How many times have you seen it? Guy goes to block it. He's not only screening his goalie, he's also tipped it now. He put the goalie at a position. Like, dude, if this guy winds up, goalie, all right, look at it, man. I remember in our tournament, I would just like that. Remember that one guy in the semis? He fucking fired 8, and I just said, all right, go have at her, man. I let Mitch see all of them.
The same shot. His shot was trash, and you just let it go.
Mitch could see it, and he could get in there. Then it's going to be great. So I honestly think that for these guys, if you're the goalie, I'd rather you see it.
Give me an unscreened shot than instead of breaking your foot.
If for sure I can block it, maybe. Yeah. Maybe I take the risk, like because it is like it's about block shots, but the league is not. The league doesn't judge you on your block shots or on your fights or on your.
You don't win games with block shots. You win games with goals.
Exactly.
And Austin Matthews isn't going to score a goal if his foot's broken.
No, right? So, Riley can't be up for the Norris if he's injured on the bench, man. If he's in foot for 2 months now, whatever, like that puts him so far in that race. And then now we're also like
he wasn't in that race.
Okay, but even still, right? So now we can't even mention him.
No,
you can even like remotely sneak in there. Now it's like no, in your 2 months when you're coming back, it's like you got to be playoff ready.
Yeah,
that's what we're looking at now. Is be playoff ready.
I saw somebody, I forget what the article was. I'm not sure if it was on McDavid's goal or if it was on a different article, but someone was just like, "Yeah, Norris candidate Morgan Rielly." I'm like, let's relax. I'm like, he's not that good this year.
Big Leaf fan, but not
I'm like, I love Morgan Rielly last year. This year, yikes.
Yeah, no, it's not the same, but the
it's still
not the same. And
it's still a hit to your defense, obviously, especially with Jake Muzzin out too. You have your top 2 D-men that are sitting in the press box right now.
Yeah, at least you still have Tyson Barrie, who's capable of playing top 4 minutes. Yeah. You have Rasmus Sandin, who they called up, which I think was
so good.
Right, and that's so good. Like, I was happy that nothing really carried over from the juniors, right?
Yeah. He got slashed on the wrist twice.
Yeah, it was slashed, but like that's gonna happen, man. That's like but that's part of the equipment. Equipment being lighter, again, man. Stop with the equipment being lighter, like. Yeah. Dude, how many times have you seen?
Well, like, there's also protective stuff you could get because, like, realistically, even if you have like normal equipment, like that little area is not protected most of the time. So they have protective stuff for those areas that most people don't wear. And like, you know what? It's fine. That's the risk you're gonna take. And if you get slashed, you get slashed. What are you gonna do? It's your choice. And
unfortunately, it's part of it. Yeah, it's absolutely.
But it didn't matter because he came up and he was disgusting the other day against New Jersey, which doesn't really matter. It's New Jersey, but.
You know what though? I think it still does matter though, because like New Jersey is that team now that I think will beat. Like I said, they stopped Tampa's 10-game winning streak. They beat Washington, I think, right afterwards. Yeah. Okay, right. But it's also like New Jersey is one of those teams that I think there are other teams when they come in, they're like, yeah, it's New Jersey.
It's New Jersey.
But then New Jersey will go, all right, man. Like, all right, we'll show you what we got.
They still have some pieces there. Like
Palmieri and Travis Zajac are still like.
They're
pieces
still
on that team. Exactly, right? And Palmieri has always been like almost like a Yando, like I'm a name, I'll do whatever, but he was there,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into the whole Jack Hughes thing. that's already up there.
He's the second best Hughes brother, but he's still a good NHLer.
He's learning, which is nice. Yeah. And like PK is still being PK. PK wants to be there as far as I've heard. He wants to buy into that, like, which is, you know what though?
So many people are trying to get him to the Leafs, and I'm like, no, please no.
No, he's a bad defenseman. I think
horrible
defenseman.
Horrible defenseman.
He's a good hockey player. I'll give him that. And off the ice, man, he is amazing. Like he does so much for the community.
Incredible human being. I had a discussion the other day with the guy at work. He's one of the best human beings in the NHL. Yeah.
I think he's just not. I think he's still even attached to like Montreal. And, like, he's still there, like doing things for Montreal. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no. New Jersey is one of those teams that I think just like surprises someone. But wasn't that like a 7-4 game too, with like 2 empty nets?
Which one's that? The
New Jersey Leaf game.
7-4. It shouldn't have been 7-4. But
the Leaf.
Freddie was yikes. Yeah. He let in 3 that I'm like, man, you got to make a save somewhere.
Also, though, going on that, the whole goalie yikes. You really need to address the backup because, like,
I
see Hutch come in games that are already blown out. You should not be letting in 2 to 3 after that.
No.
Where the game's already out of hand, and you should be just coming in and just keeping the score the way it is, because like the other team's really not putting their best foot forward. Like the McDavid goal was on Hutch.
Oh yeah, but
like so. This is what I mean, but Hutch had come in.
Yeah. And but like, I mean, it's also McDavid. That goes in on Freddie too, and I'm like,
right, absolutely. But my point is,
Hutch has been better. I'll give him that.
He's
obviously not a viable. Like,
but here's the thing, though. If Freddie goes down, or if Freddie needs like a couple games off,
if Freddie goes down, we're fucked. It doesn't matter who the backup is. Like,
doesn't need to be that way.
But who's out there that you can bring in that you're like, you know what, this guy could be the starting goalie in Toronto, because there's no one that can handle that.
You know what? I think Corey Schneider is pretty free.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure get New Jersey contract. Give him the $700K, whatever.
Yikes! Buy him out, and then we'll just pick him up on a league min.
Yeah, no. I'm
okay.
Not sure.
Okay. They can keep him.
That's the thing, though. I get it that they're kind of stuck, and they're kind of like, look, there's not really many options that are out there that many people are willing to move. But there needs to be something done to it. Then either from a defensive perspective,
I think
where you have to hide him, then, or
I don't think he's that important. And that's just my thing. It's just like there's not enough games that he's going to play down the stretch that makes him very important.
I have the fear that once Freddie goes, like if you're relying your whole like,
just hope he doesn't get hurt. That's pretty much it. I don't really care. If any team starting goalie gets hurt, they're going to get worse, and that's just how it is. And we'll see with Boston what they're going to.
I think Boston's
got a flag, but
they're going to roll.
They're both really good because they only play half a season. Like they're rested every time they go in the net.
Boston is also really good.
No,
like Boston as a team. No, even their second line.
Their guys suck. I'm sorry, they're not good. Charlie Coyle's a nice piece.
Come and keep David Krejci.
David Krejci's having an okay year.
Still doing David Krejci things.
Just they're not that. It
doesn't matter. If Passa's still putting goals.
Yeah, their first line is otherworldly, and that's why they win. But anyways, back to the Leafs, because they're the only team that matters. After that 8-4 loss to the Panthers, Sheldon Keefe did something wild, and I agree with it, but a lot of people didn't. So they went next day. He cancels practice.
Whoa.
And then the day after that is the New Jersey game, and instead of holding like a team practice to figure shit out, he holds an optional skate that morning, where I think it was 8 guys showed up or something like that, 7 or 8 guys.
Okay.
I love that.
I do too. I think that you put trust in your play. Like, they're professionals.
Yeah, know they fucked up. They don't need to get skated up for it. Like,
but you're a professional as well. So if you think that morning skate is like something that you want to pop into,
yeah,
by all means,
if you need it, then go.
But here's the thing, though. Like, I think that Keefe obviously will go, okay, so here's the optional skate. Here's the 8 players that showed up. That New Jersey game comes around. Mm-hmm. All right, so here's the 8 players that showed up. Cool, going to watch some of them. Now I'm really focused on the other players who didn't show up. What did you do in that time to correct what happened? And what did you implement into this game that was different than last time? And it showed. And it's also, we've said before, it's a New Jersey game. Like, New Jersey isn't...
It's really not that important.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's worth it to like work them and to like make them.
That's what I mean. It's not like let's burn everyone's legs off so that we're making it a fair game against New Jersey.
That's also Keefe being understanding that the system
I love it.
but that the system he has is a high risk, high reward thing. Whereas Babs blamed the players, whereas Keefe might go, you know what? Could have been you, could have been me. Here's what we're doing. Yeah, you know what? Tough game. Yeah, absolutely. Work through it. We're not in danger mode yet. We're not in like panic mode.
No, we still know what we are. I looked at that game and I'm like, you know what? Wipe it off. Who cares? It's one game. They played like shit. It happens, man. It happens to everyone in the league. Well, like you can't look at that game and be like, oh, there's a systematic problem here. It's just like, no, they played like shit. What are you gonna do? They were in Florida for 4 days and they probably showed up pretty hungover. Yes,
I think they went out the night before or something like the night.
Someone was saying they saw them out or something like that. Would like, you know what? I don't blame them. It's a long season. Go have some fun when you're in Florida.
That's what we did.
Who cares? Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like,
what are you doing?
I could see how it would happen. Yes,
buddy, I'd be going to Disney left, right, and center. Don't you worry.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what? Yeah, we'll cut them some slack. I'm not that worried. They were not ready for that game, and it's whatever. Yes, they lost to a division rival.
So like when you show up to a Florida stadium,
you're not
fired
up to play.
In the hockey sense, for me, look around. Oh, there's section Q that's all empty.
There's like 7 people. Yeah.
Yeah. I see all the people bought 300 tickets are just coming down because you know what? Why not?
Yeah, because there's so much room down there, and it's like you show up. It's 85 degrees outside. There's sunny palm trees on the way in.
Toronto, man, we've had rain, snow, then we gone to -20.
Yeah, it's a whirlwind. It's a whirlwind of temperature here.
11 Fahrenheit around there. Like, just think about that. Like, it's crazy.
You show up there and it's 28 degrees Celsius, and you're like, oh my god! And then you walk into an ice palace.
Yeah,
you're not gonna want to play. Like, sorry, it's the mid-season game against Florida. Like,
and they're
whatever.
Good. And Florida's a team that competes in every game. Sure. They will compete in every game. So
because they're used to being in that atmosphere, so they don't really care.
They love it.
Yeah,
they love home games. You kidding me?
Yeah. I don't put any blame in that, and I'm glad Sheldon Keefe took the route that he did, because you looked at the players and they just look happier and they look like they're enjoying their time on the ice.
He's a players coach, though.
I love it.
It's where he listens to them and he trusts them and he has this give take. I feel, and because that he's new, he's also getting into their system and not saying, "Hey, this is my system." Yep. Right? He knows that a lot of these players have been here for at least a year or more, and that already makes them there longer than him. So at some point, you also have to go like, yeah, you know what? This is your guys' team, and I'll take some of what you say. You take what some of I say, and we'll roll from here. It'll be a complete from Shanahan all the way down to the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right? Like
everyone has to say. I love it.
Yeah. So
it's so much better than having Babcock. Thank you.
Game against Calgary tonight too, so that'll be a good,
I'm going.
Are you
going to that one? Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, congrats.
It should be a good game. I'm excited.
How many times are you going to yell at Tkachuk?
Fuck that guy. I don't know what jersey to wear. I need your opinion here. So I have a lot.
So I'm gonna already go and put my vote in to what I wore on Monday night.
Oh, the Dion.
You gotta go Dion.
Okay. See, like I was thinking maybe Jake Gardner.
But think about it though, because you have the Dion who's got not only the Calgary roots, but he's got the Toronto roots, and he plays for neither.
Right.
So
I was thinking maybe the Jake Gardner one, because I feel like that stirs up more shit in Toronto these days. Because I
could see it.
Dion was more of an issue way back, but now it's like people still are fresh Jake Gardner in their mind. I also have the Toronto Arenas one. Right.
Do you have the old? You have the old Nylander one, don't you?
I do, but I can't find it. I don't know where that one is.
I'm gonna vote on FNUF because I just love them. People be so confused.
I have the Mitch Marner Centennial Classic.
You could wear that. That'll be my second vote.
And then I have the Austin Matthews. What was it? Stadium Series one. No Matthews. Can't be the best player.
Matthews is gonna be there.
Everyone wears Matthews. I feel like I can't wear Matthews and Marner because everyone wears those.
So then it's a FNUF or it's a Gardner or it's the Arenas one.
Or the Arenas. That's got no name on the back. So.
But I like my vote is the FNUF.
FNUF. I'm thinking maybe FNUF or Gardner because I just like
Hey, maybe I can get in contact with Fanouf. Maybe I'll just throw him.
Hey, sure.
I know where his cottage is. It's great. It's a little PI place. It's fun.
We'll just head out there and just knock on the door.
Dude, it's so easy to get them. You work at that golf resort I was at? Oh, my goodness. It was like left, right, and center. I was like, hey, what's up? Yeah. I was in a room with Paul Coffey, Wayne Gretzky, and Connor McDavid. Like, just talking. Just like,
just the boys, you know.
Yeah. Wait, Gretzky told me to go ask Coffey and McDavid for ID at the door. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Yeah, I asked for them for ID to get in as a joke. Paul Coffey just slashed on the shoulder. Ah, kid, you're funny. I was like, oh, thanks. I almost shit myself. Yeah, it was a good time.
Awesome. But yeah, so the Calgary game should be good. Basically, was the roundabout way of getting there. It's a big game. It kind of shows a true test because I think these teams are very similar.
Yeah.
They're similar style. They're a lot of offense and very minimal.
One thing that I would say the Leafs have is goaltending.
When Freddie's on, yeah.
Yeah, at least solid goaltending. I still don't trust David Rittich.
When he's on, when he's big save Dave and not David Rittich.
No, yeah, he has some big saves, and it seems like Gio's still having a good year. Like not a
Gio, but
he's like doing just like yeah. He's not falling from the sky, you know.
No, exactly. And
then your favorite Tkachuk is just But they don't have the same 50-point guys. But because remember last year they had 4 guys that had 50 points. It was like Gaudreau, Monahan, Tkachuk, and Lindholm.
Yeah,
they don't have that.
They're not quite that anymore, but they're still really good offensively.
Gaudreau, love him. Love to watch him play. I think he just does so much for that team.
Yep. Same with Tkachuk. I hate to say it, but the guy just does a lot.
Because he also is one of those players that still keeps your head out of the game, but still talented enough to keep in the game, and that's with the whole Kassian thing too, that's the pure reason why he didn't drop the gloves. He knew that I'm going to get your head out of it. I'm going to keep me in it. And then sure enough, led to the game-winning goal.
We'll get to that in a second. It is one we've talked about Freddie. We don't really need to bring him up. He just has not been good lately. Matthews had his first hat trick the other day. Second hat trick, first since his debut. My bad. First 3-goal game though. Yeah,
because he had 4 that night. And they still lost. But anyways, beside the point.
That doesn't matter. That's way in the past. We're fine.
Ottawa.
But that first tip he had was just gorgeous, and I'm like, some of the stuff he does with the puck, I'm like, this guy is incredible. He might pass David Pastrnak for the lead at some point soon. He's 2 back now, and if Pastrnak just keeps on rolling, then obviously not. But
if Matthews gets into this almost like that Connor McDavid sense where I have the puck and it runs through me. Yeah, if he does that, that'll be really
he has done that significantly more since Sheldon Keefe took over, and he just
I think since him and Marner have come together, because they both can do it. They both know when it's time to give it up, but they also both know we can do this to create more opportunity. We can stick in, we can move around, we can get around people.
I think Mitch Marner knows he can't shoot worth the shit.
No, and I think that everyone
you saw that play the other day on Matthew's second goal, where Marner has an open look at the net, he's wide open in front of the net, and he turns and throws it to Matthews, who's standing at the face-off dot over there, who rips it home because he's got a better chance of putting it home, and I think that's something that's really helping Matthews. And that's good too,
right? Because remember that they had that point where everyone's like, Marner needs to score more goals. Dude, when I look back. You get 90 points in the year, you got 90 points in the year.
Yep,
you could get 9 of those are goals.
Yeah.
Wicked. You got 81 assists. Congratulations. I cannot believe you did that. Awesome.
Yep. I like that combination better than Nylander, just in the sense that Nylander wouldn't have passed that over because he's a shooter. He's got a good shot. He would have shot that puck.
And that's I think where it works a little better is that if we have one shot, here's your one shot, here's your 2. It's not a debate. It's not a panic.
You know who the shooter is on both lines.
Yeah, because sometimes you could see it when Nylander would get in. It's like, oh, I gotta pass. Oh no, I gotta shoot. Oh, I gotta pass. And then you overthink it.
It's a little more indecisive.
Yeah. Now though, it's like Marner's I'm gonna pass it to you, and you're gonna rip this, and that's it, and we'll figure it out from there.
Yep, I love it.
We have plan B and plan A.
Speaking of William Nylander, I did some research. For the first time in podcast history, I did some research.
Not during the podcast too, so that's good.
No, I did it. I did it before. I did it the day before when we were supposed to record.
During the podcast.
Yeah, it's incredible. So I got a couple fun facts on William Nylander. Right, I'm gonna list you off a list of guys, and I want you to see if you can tell me what they all have in common. All right. Okay. Matthew Tkachuk.
Right.
David Krejci. Logan Couture.
Ooh.
Jake Voracek, Tyler Seguin, Jonathan Taves, Evander Kane, Matt Duchene, Ryan Getzlav, Claude Giroux, Ryan Johansson, Zach Parise, Anders Lee, Kevin Hayes, Phil Kessel, James Van Riemsdyk, Jamie Benn, Jeff Skinner, Joe Pavelski, Bobby Ryan.
I know exactly where this is going.
Okay.
They all make more than William Nylander does.
Right? Yes. And they all have less points per game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So absolutely. Like anyone that tells you that his contract is not worth it and he's not an absolute fucking bargain, you're an idiot.
But I think last year they had that.
Sure, last year they have a case.
But it doesn't matter though. Last year your case was nobody liked that situation, even if it doesn't come with the extra money.
Sure.
Yeah, even if it doesn't come with the extra money, nobody likes that case because he's starting December 1st. He's not starting at the beginning of the year.
No.
So it automatically leaves a sour taste in your mouth. This year when you come in and you're like, look, buddy, you held out.
People are just still thinking of last year. It's like, you know what? This is 2020.
Complaining to complain.
Yep.
They are complaining.
Leaf fans just love to complain. And the fact that he's consistently there blows my mind.
The fact you can now move him with two centers. Also, like,
oh yeah, incredible. He's an incredible player.
So for $6 million to be flexed.
Big argument against Nylander every year is that apparently he turns the puck over all the time, right? That's the big issue. Oh, all he does is turn the puck over, yada yada yada.
Let me just kind of like stretch.
Let's just rip through the turnover leaders for forwards real quick. Just forwards, because the defense, it's a different situation.
Yeah.
Number 1 overall, all players, Matt Barzal has 71.
Oh.
Number 2 overall, all players, David Pastrnak, number 69. Is he good? Is he good? I think he's good, right?
I think he's pretty trash, actually. Obviously, he turns the puck over a lot. So
number 3 on the forward list, tied for 3rd overall with, I forget who it was, but he's a D-man, Connor McDavid with 62. He's pretty good too, right? I think we talked about him earlier. Guy's not bad. Can play the game. Yeah. Number 4, Matt Tkachuk with 58, 7th overall on the entire list. Number 5, another Hart Trophy candidate, Artemi Panarin, tied for 8th in the league with 57. Number 6, could be a Hart Trophy candidate. I don't know. 13th in the league overall, Leon Draisaitl with 55. Then Larkin, 16th overall, 53. Getzlav, 19th, tied for 19th with Trocheck, both at 51.
But now it doesn't matter though because it doesn't matter though because you're not even in the top 20. Like,
so now we were at tied for 19th in the league. So if you go all the way down to 148th, you know who's tied? Alex Barkov and William Nylander at 28.
And how many people say that Alexander Barkov is
he's one of the best players in the NHL.
Yeah, but that's what they say, right?
Like, don't tell me William Nylander turns the puck over a lot. He doesn't. That's a bullshit argument. Go take a look. He does not.
They just roll. That's it.
It's just like people just get this in their head, and it's just it was the same with Gardner. People are like, "Oh, Gardner just turns the puck over all the time." Gardner was consistently in 4th or 5th on the Leafs in turnovers when he was here.
Yeah,
and people just don't look at it, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
It may be maybe key turnovers if that's what you want to go to. Like they may be untimely in the sense that you're like trying to mount a comeback or you have the lead. Like, but
Gardner had some gems where he threw
absolutely
really bad times.
Nylander even still though
doesn't. Man.
I can't really pinpoint anyone that's like, oh my god, why did you throw that there? Like, there's no point for Nylander that I can say that he's been a detriment to this team.
We talked about it on this podcast. I don't know if you're in on this episode, but after that Carolina game where they just scored the lights out, they go right after was Tim and Sid, and the first thing Sid mentions was that Nylander was turning the puck over all night.
Oh, I think I remember.
They're showing video of it. They're showing video, and there literally wasn't one time where Nylander turned the puck over. He wasn't even on the ice for all the video they showed. I'm like, okay, cool, I guess, whatever. And you look at the stats that game, he turned it over twice.
We need a scapegoat, and apparently it's Willie.
Oh my god, just brutal.
It's Willie because he's the 3rd of the 3. And that's what I said. Yeah. But this is where I said always when it came to contract dispute, I said the issue with like Nylander, Matthews, and Marner was like Nylander came first and he shouldn't have because he was like the worst of the 3, which is not saying he's bad, but he was the worst of the 3. Right. So that's where it was like he came up first. You didn't want to overpay him. You didn't want to.
In the league.
But worst out of the 3.
Worst of the 3.
But that's what it is, right? Nobody wants to say, well, Matthews isn't doing this, Marner's not doing like now it's okay, you know what, Nylander.
Which I find incredible because like now it's a little different. Now they're all buzzing, but like at the beginning of the year, Marner was not playing as an $11.93 million or 10.93. It's like that's where we should have our issues.
He was feeling that pressure, I think, from the contract and from the like you have to perform now. Like hockey, think about hockey's always been fun. Hockey's always been about getting to that payday, and I feel like that happens for a lot of these guys. Hockey has been about getting to that payday, getting to that big ticket. Like this is my big contract, and then you get there, and realistically. For the next 8 years, you could coast.
Yeah.
Realistically, you got your money. You're guaranteed 8 years. Like, perfect. Yeah. Now, though, it comes down to the matter of if you actually want to play. Do you want to be somebody who's remembered that you came in, you made your money, or do you want to be the guy that came in and made an impact in this league and actually won some things and it was like even if you don't win the Stanley Cup, let's say, because that is extremely hard to do. Yeah. Like if you're not a guy but you could still win other trophies and you could still even be like that team guy, right? Like that guy that and plays until you're 40, right? Sure. People give you contract. Look at Joe Thornton. How many 1 year? San Jose has literally said anytime that you want a spot, we will have it for you until you retire. Yep.
Take a 1 year every year.
Literally let us know. They've just said let us know. Like almost fax us your contract, we'll sign it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like that to get to that kind of level. And Joe Thornton hasn't won a cup. No. Like Joe Thornton hasn't won how much in years, but he hasn't.
He won a Hart like 80 years ago.
Right. And that's it.
Maybe 85, but
and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
just respect. And to me, everyone knocks Nylander for not playing defense. Man, at $6.9 million scoring the way he does, I don't give a shit if he never sees the other side of our blue line.
But they do play.
To be honest,
so and like they might have mental moments, and those are the ones people take away. But they also have moments where they're like, they don't let anything in.
They'll rip a puck from someone and away you go. Start the breakout. It's just
exactly.
People are nuts. I hate it. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw those out there.
People are crazy. God is good. Beer is great. People are crazy.
God is great. Beer is good.
Oh, but people are crazy. Either way, people are crazy.
Either way.
That's the one common fact. Yeah.
All right, let's get to that idiot that we've been talking about all day. Matthew Tkachuk.
I thought you were saying Connor McDavid. All right, well.
No, I got nothing left on that guy. Matthew Tkachuk leveled Zach Kassian
twice.
First one. Okay, yeah. What do you think on that first one?
It's a hockey play. I completely agree with the slow it down. It's worse. It's a
charge. It's a charge by the rule because he takes 4 strides.
Absolutely.
But I'm like, okay, fine.
So fast, and it's like
so quick. His first 2 strides, like they're not actual strides. It's like
also to be fair, man. If you see Matthew Tkachuk rolling in on Zach Kassian, are you honestly going? My money's Tkachuk right away.
No, that's a big unit he's going to hit.
Right. So
and then
the second one.
Stick with the first one just real quick. A lot of people are saying that was the principal point of contact was the head on that. And I'm like, no. If you watch that video, his hip hits shoulder.
Yeah.
Like it's close to the head, like it's near his neck, but it hits shoulder, and then his head whips around and hits.
When you slow-mo it down, that's when it looks like the principal.
It looks worse, but
head, but everything looks good in everything looks bad in slow motion.
Yeah.
And that's where like I think that the first hit, like I said, it was a bit of a hockey play. It was one of those like almost like football hits again, where it's like, dude, that's questionable, but it's like so in the moment. So I don't know. I don't think that needed any sort of suspension, needed any sort of like.
No, maybe a fine. You know what? If you want to give him something, I said maybe a 2 minute for charging on the play.
Well, you did it right there.
And then maybe if you want supplemental discipline, it's a fine, but it's not a suspendable play.
But the refs didn't feel that way. And it's also a Battle of Alberta game. You want that animosity. You want that kind of those kind of like hits. If you start
clean hits.
If you start taking those hits out though, you will be
taking it all out.
All hits out. Yeah. But you lose hockey.
Yeah.
You lose hockey then, right? Yeah. How many times
there's a reason why football does so well. And it's because there's so much violence and people love it.
Love that, man. They love the contact of it. They love the banging of the bodies, right? Even basketball players who aren't supposed to, they get down. Like some of them like fucking throw each other.
Yeah.
I love that there's hitting here. It's properly doing it, absolutely. And it's
when you get guys that are head hunting and you jump and take out a guy at the head, yes, that's a problem. But when you get a guy like Kassian bent over that he gets hit in the shoulder, like I'm sorry, that guy never hit his head.
If you've put your head into a vulnerable position, how can you then make because then you know what, if I'm Kassian, I'm just gonna skate around like this the whole time then.
Exactly.
No one's gonna touch me because my head's
you're never gonna get hit.
My head's there. So The second hit, I had no issues with.
Oh, clean as shit.
The helmet flying off has nothing to do with him hitting the head. The helmet flying off is Kassian was not prepared for Tkachuk. That's what that is. And you heard, so they even pointed out too, you can hear McDavid yell. Yeah. McDavid shouts like head up, like look out, man, he's coming again.
Yeah.
And it's too late.
I got into it with a guy on Twitter because he goes, they both should have got shock, shock. This guy goes, they both should have got 10 minutes on the play, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are you giving Tkachuk 10 minutes for? He goes, boarding, check to the head, charging, you pick. I'm like, or intent to injure, you pick. I'm like,
I didn't know intent to injure was a...
I'm like, none of those things happen on the play, but okay. I'm like,
where was the boarding?
He didn't even hit the boards.
His helmet maybe hit the boards.
His helmet hit the boards. He didn't
because he was like 2 feet away from it.
Yeah. So he didn't hit the boards. That second one definitely wasn't a charge. It was clean.
Intent to injure.
Didn't hit the head. It was shoulder to shoulder, dummied him. Intent to injure. It's a clean hit. Like, is every hit intent to injure?
You know what he had intent to? He had intent to take a guy that's like 40 pounds bigger than him. Absolutely. I'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah. That was a joke.
40 pounds more of muscle. Like, fuck right.
Yeah. So then Kassian goes at him and he sucker punches him a handful of times. Yeah. And like, I don't know if it deserved 2 games. I'm a little hesitant on that.
I think they're trying to do a couple things with that. Maybe one, it's Kassian. It's a name. It's the kind of like a dude. I know that you're going to take this above and beyond.
Is he a repeat offender?
Not that he's a repeat offender. I'm not sure about that aspect, but it's the point of like they still have 2 meetings left, like 2 games left, and you know that he's not the type of player that's gonna just let that go and roll and be like, I'm gonna score a hat trick to get back at you for this, right? He's the guy that's like, oh, I'm just gonna punch your face off, like the way that he tried to, right, with Tkachuk.
Yep. Tkachuk's also taking a lot of shit for what he did because he turtled the fight, and you know what? I'm standing with Tkachuk on this one. That was the smartest thing he's ever done.
There's 4.5 minutes left. You've laid a clean hit.
Yep.
You now know that this guy dropped the gloves. You get a power play.
Mm-hmm.
Tkachuk is in full.
And they scored on him. They scored on him.
Game-winning goal. So now who's laughing?
Yeah. That's exactly his quote was my favorite of the entire thing because he goes, I don't have it in front of me, but it was like, if you don't want to get hit by the train, stay off the tracks.
Yeah.
We'll take the power play. We'll take the game winner, and we'll take first place in the division. Absolutely. I'm like, he's right. Yeah. He has no reason to fight on that play because he threw a clean hit and he leveled him. Sorry, Sorry, go ahead.
But it's just also it's not his fault that the league has gone to where there's no like enforcer there because like. When you look at it, the first guy to jump in on Tkachuk was McDavid. So exactly, right there. So then in Tkachuk's line, I guarantee you doesn't have like a Luke Gadzik anymore.
No.
Where he's like just there, I'm going to throw punches. And like, no, they don't have that anymore. So like he is doing the appropriate thing. He doesn't want to drop his gloves. The fact that Zach Kassian is lost his mind, going to throw his gloves.
Yeah.
Like that's okay. And the refs aren't doing anything. So like, which I understand as well. It's for safety for them, I guess, if you want to say that. But then you have this man just freely swinging.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to drop my gloves if I'm Tkachuk, though, because I felt like I threw a clean hit, and I don't want to answer for that.
So if we're in the streets, is that not assault?
Yeah, that's 100% assault.
It's just like rolling.
100%. Yeah. I mean, obviously hockey's different, but like it was ridiculous, and I'm glad Tkachuk did what he did because I think he had no reason to answer for that, and he earned his team the win.
I can't wait for the next games. I honestly think that if Tkachuk's the right mindset, he's going to drop them.
I don't think he will. I think it's up to Lucic to let that not happen.
Oh, Lucic, right? I forgot about it.
I think the fight isn't Kassian versus Tkachuk because Tkachuk has no reason to fight. I've said it numerous times now.
Lucic
I think Lucic needs to be the one.
Yeah. Did you end up hearing like James Neal's comments on the whole thing?
Yeah, kind of briefly, but
it was just like it. I think he took a real a poor stance on it. He took a very teammate stance on it. He took very which I get it. You want to support your team.
Yeah, of course. You can't go out there and be like, oh, Tkachuk was right.
But at the same time, man, last year that was your team.
Yep, exactly.
So
former teammate.
That's what, so you can also just say look, it's a hockey play. I get it that you don't want that exact result at the end, but then you got to look to Kassian and say, dude, don't get up all pissed off because you got run over twice.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Keep your head up. But I think my favorite comment of the whole thing was Kassian. when he goes, what do you call it? Oh, a couple years ago, he didn't want to fight me. He told me I was a fourth liner. Now I have 13 goals in the NHL. What's your excuse now? It's like, buddy, your excuse now is that you're playing with Connor McDavid, and that's the only reason why you have 13 goals.
Yeah, hang on. Let me just see.
You're still a fourth liner. You just happen to be playing with the best player on the planet.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier when
like, how many of your goals did you earn? 2?
How many of the I think he had one that he actually like made a bit of a move and like sniped in, if I recall. But after that, it's like
you're just letting McDavid clear the way, and then you just tap in a one-timer. Okay, like, come on, man.
So Tkachuk weighs 202 pounds.
Okay. Kassian.
Yeah, let me see this right here.
Kassian's got to be
only 211.
Oh wow. But he's got
still, I think he's solid. Yeah, I think he's still like a solid 211.
Yep.
I can tell you, like, I'm close to 2, and 211 would still be a big beef up.
Yep.
So
that's a difference between 200 and 211 pounds is a pretty sizable difference.
Earned a double minor, and it's just like, I'm a big boy. I love big boy hockey.
Yep.
That's what Zach Kassian said. If you're gonna play big boy hockey, you gotta answer the bell every once in a while.
He sounded so much like Doug Glatt in that interview. I'm like, dude, you're what we're trying to get rid of, man. It's like
the boss,
everything you said. I'm like, oh my god, the way his voice sounds, the answers he had. I'm like, you are Doug Glatt. You're not a hockey player. You have 13 goals because you're playing with McDavid. So I would have 13 goals.
Kassian's also said they were a bit blindsided, but I've laid hits like that. He goes, if you play with fire, eventually you get burned. Like, he goes, 2 times is enough, blah, blah. Like, he's basically saying I've done it, but it wasn't cool that it was done to me, so go cry.
Yeah, bastically, like, I've done it my whole career, but when someone does it to me, it's a problem. Get out of here. You're a joke. You're a joke, Zach Kassian. Thank you.
Enjoy your suspension.
Sticking in that division, Gerard Gallant was fired by the Vegas Golden Knights.
Very weird move.
And the strangest coaching firing of the year. Everyone else, you're like,
and hiring too. Like, hired in the same like day, it seemed, in the same sentence. Like, I think in the same cast release, it was like, hey, Gallant's out, DeBoer's in. Like,
DeBoer's in.
Okay, pardon.
Like, I don't understand the firing. That makes 0 sense.
Right now, Vegas has 54 points. The top is Coyotes with 57. So you're 3 points.
3 points out of first.
That's it.
Like,
that's it. You're 3 points out of first.
I don't understand. This is a coach that took you to the Stanley Cup Finals a year and a half ago with a team of nobodies, and Marc-Andre Fleury.
So even their their shots on goal, like, they get like 34 shots a game. Like, they're second.
Their 5-on-5 stats are the best in the league. I'm pretty sure, or top 3, something like that. Like, they are good. They're a good team. They've had rough goaltending the last month.
Okay, so they lost
them a bit.
4. So they lost their last 4, but before that they won the 4.
Yeah, like,
so it's a wash, I guess.
I'm sorry, but this is one of the best coaches in the NHL, and you just let him walk because why? Because why? It's just
who needs a coach right now? Pick him up.
0 sense to me.
Anybody who needs a coach should just be like, no, we're good with ours. I want that one.
Like, you need an upgrade. Like, almost every team in the NHL, this is an upgrade for.
Oh, everybody.
Like, it's wild.
Too bad they didn't do this when the Leafs were getting rid of Babs.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
Would have taken him.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, but
so Dmitry Filipovich had a tweet. Absolute gold. So it was since November 20th. There's been 7 NHL head coach firings. 5 Detroit Red Wings wins.
It's bad. Detroit games are bad.
Yeah, there was another one. I forget who it was from, but like
I think we lost to Detroit, but I still, like, they're bad.
Yeah. There's another one that there's been 3 coaches that have been fired after losing to Buffalo, and I'm not sure if that's a testament to how bad people think Buffalo are or something else.
That's the final straw. Look, you have a lot of
gotta be beating Buffalo.
Yeah, you have a lot of season goals. If you lose to Buffalo, that's it. We cut it right there.
It's just hilarious.
Cool. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, from one firing that didn't make any sense to one that did make a little bit more sense was Ray Shero got fired from the New Jersey Devils, and I think that was something we saw coming forever. The strange thing to me is that you let him make the Taylor Hall deal before firing him.
I think that was almost it, though. I think that
was the last straw.
Yeah, because that was really bad. Like, dude, I'm sorry, but that was a steal for Arizona that you not only
I love it.
you get a Hart Trophy winner for half of his already like ridiculously low contract, but you trade away 3 players who have made like next to no impact on your roster. Like Nick Merkley's been hurt, but he's been drafted for how many years? And I don't even think he's been a mainstay.
He's had 2 ACL surgeries, I think it was.
Right. Okay. So you're giving up a banged up Nick Merkley.
Yeah.
Ball,
Kevin Ball is an absolute unit of a human being.
But plays in one of the toughest positions, and then now he has to adjust. Like, hey, you're going to New Jersey. Like, coming into this system now, you're gonna have, if he comes up next year beside PK, hey bud, you're playing defense this whole time because he ain't.
And like I don't even know who the other name in the
deal was. Slap dick prospects. That's what.
And then you have like the safest section of picks you could ever have because it was like it's a first and a third right now, and the third can become a second if they make the playoffs, and or if he resigns,
comes
a first if they make the playoffs and he resigns. Like that's the safest conditions I've ever seen.
Is it make the playoffs or make a round? I think it was a round.
I thought it was just make the playoffs.
But I know there was
regardless. Either one of those, that is the safest conditions you're ever gonna get.
You know what though? That's just like I hate when GMs have to do all that. You have to almost like muddy the water to like make it seem like it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like we'll give you a first and then the conditional like third to make it maybe a second, or it could be a first. And then, because then you're like questioning. You're like, well, I don't know if this trade worked out until next year now. But then you also never know because it's like, well, Taylor Hall might not be a Coyote next year.
Sure.
So did it actually work out then? Like, Arizona got what they wanted. They got their player, but it's like, you can't compare anymore. You can't do this like side by side comparison unless he signs, stays there, does it, and then everything just becomes like this is the overall look of the trade. You got two firsts, and those prospects for Taylor Hall. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll buy.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But like this is just
now
weird.
That it's a third realistically right now because no one's they'll
probably make the playoffs.
But they're first, but no one's made the playoffs yet. So it's a first, a third, and 3 prospects.
Like you just said, they're in that Pacific Division, and they've separated out of the playoffs, and the first in the division is currently separated by 3 points.
Exactly. The Golden Knights being that 3 points away and just firing their head coach.
Yeah. That's wild. Vancouver.
What has he done though, right? Like he went to the Stanley Cup Finals first year.
Yeah.
Second year they didn't make the okay, that's expected. You're not the same.
Sorry they didn't make the fucking finals.
Yeah, sorry. In your second year, we forgot all those players that everyone gave away. No way that they came down to earth and now they're like being NHL players. We apologize for that.
These cast-offs.
Yeah, exactly. And then now this year they're still 3 points away. And they added Paul Stastny, Max Pacioretty, like they're Mark Stone. They're still building, and yet they're like, nah, get rid of this guy. He ain't the one.
Just makes zero sense to me.
What do we know? We're here. They're there.
Yeah. But
Vegas will be soon enough.
New Jersey had to let Shiro go. He's awful, and he ruined that team. Moving on, staying in that division, can we give Sidney Crosby to Ted Lindsay? Like, is that a possibility still?
I hope so.
Like,
he came back 4 points.
Oh my god! And like his 4 points weren't just like 4 points; they were Sidney Crosby.
You could tell he was watching the World Juniors with the little off the back. Once I saw that, I was like, "Alexis teaching things."
That wasn't even the most impressive part of that play. Like he does that. That's really cool, dude. He threads the needle through 4 guys to hit McCann. Is it?
No, Gagne.
Oh, Gagne.
Yeah, like it's like Simone. Sorry. Simon, whatever his name.
Yeah.
I know it was Simon.
Simone. Yeah.
Simone, that's what it is. So, see, I was thinking Simone Gagne, but his last Simone.
No, just threads the needle tape to tape and gives him the whole net. I'm like, this guy is the most outstanding player in the NHL. Book it. I don't care. He should have that award. He's incredible. Incredible.
And man, the fact that they are still second in the division now.
Oh my god, yeah. Like they were 16. I think it was 16-4-2 in the time that Crosby was gone.
Mac officially has the worst take because I can at least claim Jeff Skinner's been injured.
Yeah,
there. Or was it Nick? Whoever said Nick. Gino was Nick.
It's not Nick. It was not going point per game.
I'm giving Nick the worst one because Gino had nobody on his team and he still kept going and has now put them in second place to where Crosby can come back and go, I'll get 4 points. And I think Gino still scored. Like.
You know what's funny on these hot takes is that everyone laughed at mine like it was the worst thing in the world. I might be the closest to hitting my take. And it was like, Thanks.
I know never to trust
Kasperi Kapanen was a point per game player in his last 9 before last game. He didn't get a point last game.
Yeah, he's come back.
Like, hey, I mean, I love it. But yeah, that Pittsburgh team is so good, and I don't understand it. But Gino's still like normally, typically,
they're still a really good team, right? They're still like Crosby, Letang,
Tristan Jarry.
Yeah, like who? Why do they do that with goalies? How? What?
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
We're gonna go for Marc-Andre Fleury, and then there's an expansion draft. Yeah. By the way, I got Matt Murray just sitting in the wing.
Here we go.
Take
Matt our franchise best goalie here. Yeah. He's yours.
He's gonna be shit in the bed a little bit. Okay, well, you know what? Here's Tristan. All right. Yeah, we got him.
I love it. It's incredible.
Oh yeah. By the way, we just slapped some 4 creative players in the lineup, so have fun with that. Oh, by the way,
I did this the other day with
their group, and it was like
we've already been through the team, but it's more fun to do now. I'm gonna pull up their game from the other day, and I want you to tell me how many of these players you knew before this week.
But I knew I can. Galchenyuk had
right. Yes, I know. I'll show you. Hold on.
But then there's
let me get this game up here.
I obviously didn't know Gagne because I
called. So they won 7-3. Are you ready?
Ready.
I don't even know this guy's first name. Against the Minnesota Wild, yes, they win 7-3. I'm gonna list you the roster from that day. You tell me if you knew this guy. All right, Andrew Agozzino.
No.
Zach Aston Reese.
Yeah, heard his name.
He got murdered by Tom Wilson. That's the only reason I know him.
Oh, I know him because I put him in my franchise. He was really good. Okay. He's a really good AHL player.
Okay, cool. Teddy Bluger.
I've heard the name, but I have no idea who he is. Bluger.
This kid from Nova Scotia, Sidney Crosby. Have you heard of him?
No, actually, no.
Okay, apparently he's pretty good.
I've never even met him.
He had 4 points in the game. Pretty good.
Yeah,
17 minutes on the
game. A golf swing, so look out for him on the PGA Tour when he's done.
Alex Galchenyuk, obviously. Patrick Hornquist, obviously. Jack Johnson, naturally. Dominic Cahoon.
I've heard of Cahoon because he came from. He was part of the Mata deal.
Okay.
But yeah, not that I know him as like a great player.
Nope. Chris Letang, obviously. Evgeny Malkin, obviously. I need to look this guy's name up. John Marino. Is this a Pittsburgh Penguins player or a made-up name?
Does he play for the Dolphins?
No. Did his dad play for the Dolphins? Who knows? Never heard of him. Jared McCann, obviously. Yeah. Marcus Peterson.
I know
Elias Peterson.
I was going to say Elias's cousin.
Isn't that the guy, Marcus Peterson? Is that the guy that played for Vancouver? Or is that?
No, that's Elias.
No idea. Juuso Riikola.
Well, thanks for making my throat less itchy.
Chad Ruedel.
Like a strudel?
Brian Russ.
Chad Strudel.
Dominic Simone.
See, that's who it was. Simone Gagne. Yeah, there he is.
Dominic Simone Gagne. Brandon Tanev, obviously. I know his brother, so I know him.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is your... Oh, and then Tristan Jarry's in net.
Yeah, but that's not
Tristan Jarry, but...
a second-place team in that division, man. That's not a joke division. That's the division that the Islanders and the Rangers and Washington and the Rangers, they're bad, but they can score.
Yeah.
They have a Hart candidate.
This team is just so ridiculous. I don't understand.
Love it.
Staying in that division once again.
So could it be... I think they could be a little sneak peek for the playoffs, and they could make another Pittsburgh-type run because, if you can go through this, you can pretty well go through it.
Any team that has Crosby and Malkin in it can win the cup.
Yeah, the fact that you've convinced both of them, hey, stay on this team and run careers.
And, the whole thing with Malkin, too, was that he was much better when Crosby's out of the lineup, but Crosby comes back to the lineup, Malkin still had 3 points that night. Still buzzing. Because
he still feeds off. No.
If you get both of them buzzing at the same time, it's just give them the cup. I don't know what to tell you.
I know.
Unbelievable. Staying in the division, their rivals, the Washington Capitals, signed Nick Backstrom to a 5-year, $46 million deal.
I say that's a touchdown. That's a good deal.
It also just guarantees that Braden Holtby's not coming back because they can't afford him.
I don't think that they're going to hang on to as many people as you think, though. I think that Tom Wilson's name will be shopped because he's a bit of a contract. Yeah, I think they're going to move some money around to keep those guys.
I don't think they need to keep Holtby though, because Samsonov's been so good, and I don't see a reason to have a declining Holtby on your roster.
Well, Seattle's kind of up in the draft. Yeah. But Holtby expired this year, doesn't he?
Yeah, so it would have been much better if he expired next year. But oh well.
it's also Braden Holtby. And
yeah, but Holtby hasn't been Holtby the last couple of years.
Right, but like, dude, call a team up and say, "Hey, I know you're struggling."
Sure, you could trade.
Braden Holtby. Maybe we see that then. Maybe we see this surprise like Braden Holtby. Because who's getting more of the starts right now though? Because Washington's first. That's the thing.
I think I'm not actually that entirely sure.
But like Washington is still first, so that's where like I just kind of struggle with them making a.
Yeah, they're not going to make a drastic move like that.
Like that. Yeah,
it's hard to see them re-sign him, just strictly based on the fact that I don't know. So he has had significantly more games. So he's 32 for Holtby, 17 for Samsonov.
Yeah, but he's lost a bunch of them.
9 of the.
But if you're just looking, if you're just looking at the last little bit, like Samsonov has only lost 2.
Yeah, he's only lost three in the whole season, and then Holtby has lost 13. Right, if you include overtime losses.
But the last two games he lost. So
Holtby?
New Jersey and Philly he's lost against, and then he beat San Jose, but then he lost against the Islanders and Carolina, which to me, like, the only team that you New Jersey is whatever, but like Philly you got to win against, New Islanders you got to win against, Carolina like, because they're all in your division. Yeah, they're all like top teams like that. Yeah, exactly. You can't be doing that. But then he pulls out like a win against Tampa, right? So it sucks.
He has a 3.02 goals against.
But I think the Nick Backstrom signing is good. I think it keeps another piece in there. He's a piece that can either hop up there with Ovechkin still just as nicely, or you can play your second line. He's a passer. He's a playmaker. He's there for 5 years extra. Like that's easy.
5 years seems like a long time.
It's an easy contract to move as well. I think if you absolutely need to at the end of it, it's not too long term. I think it puts him to be like mid 30s.
Yeah.
So like realistically, your mid 30s, like that's all right, man. And he's not the number one guy, right? Kuznetsov's there as the number one center, so you don't need him. He's gonna be that. He's almost gonna be like a David Krejci-esque type, where it's like if Kuznetsov goes out on another party night, then Kassian comes sliding in. So. But
when he gets suspended for coke again, you can just slide him in.
Whoa. NHL doesn't have a coke problem.
No. It's fine. Nobody has a coke problem.
No, it's not a problem. I got the solution. It's right there. It's on the table.
Yeah. All right. Little last piece of information before we go. Tuukka Rask was dummied by Emil Bemstrom.
Mentioned that earlier a little bit, with saying Fox got to come in, and he's absolutely dummied though, Yeah.
Do you think that's suspendable? Do you think it was on purpose? First of all,
no,
I didn't see it as that either.
I don't think any contact to the goalies on purpose. I really don't. Like, I saw the play and
it's not pretty.
No,
but I don't think he did it on purpose.
No, there's no like.
He's not even looking at him.
There's no intent for me. Like, there's no like I'm barreling in and like it's not like a Milan Lucic on Ryan Miller.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Where like you just saw him throw his arms up and do all that. So like that's
Miller with the big
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, breaking things now too.
Where is it? There it is.
What'd you break?
It's a light. I gotta hang that back up. It's over.
But yeah, it was it's unfortunate, and I feel like also because like the goalie equipment and stuff puts you at a bit of a disadvantage. They don't have the same kind of protection for hits as we do. Also, though, I think maybe part of it, Tuukka Rask is not playing in the All-Star game, which is suspensionable. So they actually will.
Now it's not though, right?
No, it is. They said they would suspend him either the game. It's either. But now,
I think the thing is like if you miss the game before because you're hurt, then you're not
but also, so I think maybe like it's not. It could be not as bad as it actually is. They could be saying like, look, you got a concussion or something, but like
he did come out of the game.
Absolutely. No doubt. Like at the time, I think precautionary wise too, right? Yeah. Like it's a head injury, but even if it's not as bad, they go, hey, look, man,
just take a seat.
You want this time off. We know that. They're going to suspend you. You know what? Let's fudge the numbers.
You might as well just.
We can't suspend you. You're injured. Yeah, you're not seeing that game, right? So it's. I think that has made
he is injured. It's a tough hit. Like I do like Halak and what he's able to do. But you have the All-Star break
coming up, and you really need Halak. So let's say Halak takes half those games. Okay. That's it.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting.
I think part of it, I don't think anything bad of the play. I think it's an unfortunate play, no doubt. It's an unfortunate injury. But I also maybe think that there's a little more politics behind it in the sense that like he's already been asking for All-Star break off. We're like, how far?
It's a bit of a lucky injury in a sense.
Yeah, we're how far until the All-Star break? Like
next weekend.
Right. So like, hey man, concussion protocol keeps you out a week. We don't feel strong enough to put you back in, okay? Because you can't mess with concussions. You can't talk to a person and say
no. Ask Luke Kuechly.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You can't say but you can't say like, hey, you don't have a concussion, or like, you know what I mean? Like if you're feeling something, if Rask goes, look, man, my head's a little fuzzy still, they can go, okay, that's it. That's enough for us. Concussion. Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
On the topic of concussions, a little unrelated to the hockey podcast, but I feel like it's relevant to us. Have you seen, it came out yesterday, the Aaron Hernandez documentary?
I saw a bit of the,
If anyone's still listening at this point, go check that out. It's really good. Yeah. Like it's wild, that whole story. And like,
it was an interesting case.
It's an emotional ride if you followed that case and like you were around to remember it and you're a football fan, because there's some shit that I'm like, holy, just some of the stuff this guy went through.
Patriot fan. That one was really tough. Watching that Super Bowl that he was in, and then like Gronk's hurt, like to see them actually, like, because we had that Gronk Hernandez tight end combo.
They revolutionized the game.
And then all this, to hear that, and then basically just you go from like almost Super Bowl champions to like you're in jail and you're going through all this stuff, you're struggling with this and that, and then you're gone. Yeah, that was it. Like,
it's one of those things too, where like as a kid when it was happening, or like a younger kid, I guess I was, like I was like, oh, there's no way he did this. Like it's not. No, it's just somehow he got framed. But like you watch that, I'm like, holy shit! Like he 100%. Even if he didn't do it, like he was there when it went down, and like
no doubt.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And he played a full season. Like he played a full season after that double homicide he was accused of, and whether or not he was there, still a little questionable. But like the shit that guy went through, and like I don't know, just nuts. It's a good documentary. Definitely go watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little creepy because like there's a lot of phone conversations with him in it, and like you're listening to a dead guy speak basically.
Yeah.
And then it's good. Give it a watch. I recommend it.
I definitely will be.
Okay.
That's it. At work tonight. I mean, no, not at work tonight.
Not at work tonight.
Boss don't watch this. Yeah, after work. Midnight, you know?
Yeah.
Give them a midnight read.
Yeah. So. All right. I think you got anything else? Or are we good?
No, man, I think we're good. We'll probably do one just for the All-Star break. If we can
hopefully we can get another one in here. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Don't forget to check out
questions too, man. Like comment on it.
If you're man, like
things. Tell us how bad we are. Tell us how great we are.
If you're still here, we'd love to hear from you. And we haven't heard a lot from you guys. So I mean, if you have things to say, if you think we're shit,
if you think you can do this, hop in. We'll have you here.
You know what? We'll have you on the episode.
You can call in if you want. We'll take you for a half hour.
We got lots of options.
Absolutely. We are open.
Yeah. Don't forget to check out theasports.com. Follow us.
Come to the Treeouts.
Come to the Treeouts. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. What was the other thing I meant to say? Oh, subscribe.
We all have individual Snapchats if you want.
Subscribe, because
follow us
down on one of those sides. I still haven't figured it out. Click the like button, which is on the other side. Subscribe.
Someone's got to get it.
It's on one of these sides. Give that button a click. We really appreciate it. We're here mostly every week. Give us a listen.
Check out the stars too. Don't forget.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Cheers. Have a good one.